K-Rock Football, another local Zoom interview. Usually we've spoken with the coaches, but this man, well, he's a coach of sorts. We're going to touch on that very shortly. But in his house, he lets everybody call him four-time Ash medalist, Josh Finch. Hello, four-time.
Kingy, how are you, mate?
Great to be talking with you. You're obviously, a lot of people have been impacted by COVID-19, but you're one that's got through it pretty well as a builder. You've been able to stay on the tools.
Yeah, lucky enough, the government and the health organisations called us an essential trade early, so we were very lucky, mate. I had a toolbox meeting with the boys early days when it, I suppose, all unfolded, and I just said, I don't know how it's going to look. We could be shut down and get told, that we're unemployed or we can't work until. We didn't know how bad it was going to be, I suppose. So we're pretty fortunate we kept going, and everything's been in place, and I suppose we had contracts in place. So short term, from the business point, it was fine. Long term, we might be affected with a bit of backlash and spending and the economy turnover, but early days, mate, we've been unaffected, so it's been good. Touch wood.
I suppose as a business owner as you are with Finch Builders, and as you said, you've got staff working for you, do you have a couple of sleepless nights where you go, gee, it's not just me and my family, but it's the families of the blokes that you employ?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a big part of the reason why you run a business is to give opportunity to others. And we employ four good guys that work for us and put a lot of time and effort to make our business turn over and make it successful in our eyes anyway. So, yeah, good people. So initially you were shocked, as everyone was. It was a pandemic. We weren't sure what was going to happen, how bad it was going to be like other countries. I think the government's done an exceptional job. Victorian, statewide, and the federal. But yeah, pretty lucky that we could keep working and we gave them the opportunity. There's a lot of people you talk to every day that have had to seek jobs or are unemployed, and JobKeeper and job seeker and all those things. So we were pretty lucky that we could keep going. So touch wood, as I said, everyone can get back to some form of normality. Things will take a long time to get back to any form of that. But yeah, we were one of the lucky ones that could keep going.
Every year for 20 odd years, you've been rolling up to Morak Recreation Reserve and pulling on the maroon and blue and kicking the footy. By this stage of the year would have been, I think, 7 rounds in. Would have been a bye this weekend. It was the weekend off with no community championships, although if they had been on, you probably would have been pulling on a ballerine jumper. How weird has it been for you, or have you not, I suppose, felt it yet that we're in footy season and that you're not playing?
No, I certainly felt it. I think it's the biggest thing you miss is that mateship and the camaraderie, like just getting around the boys and having that banter at training, before training, after training, and the opportunity it creates for local people, sponsors, community, everyone involved. Like, I'm sure there's people at our club, like Mick Fitzgerald, who's a big icon at our club, like comes down Tuesday, Thursdays to have a cold one with a few other locals. Like they're the ones that are affected as well. So yeah, strange circumstances. We're all in it. Hopefully we can get some form of a season going. Yeah, at what stage, I don't know. It looks unlikely, but hopefully at some point we can get some community footy going for everyone's health and well-being.
Late November last year, you were appointed a development coach with Scotty Thompson down at the Cats with the AFLW program. And at that time, you weren't exactly sure what that would mean for your football in season 2020 with Model Warrior. Would you have played round 1 under normal circumstances, or would you have needed some time to get yourself footy fit to be right for the later in the season?
Oh, it's a tough one. Like, I was sitting on the fence there for a long time, and I didn't want it to be that way. I didn't want any attention drawn to me at any stage. I was open and honest with all my teammates and my coaches. Firstly, I think the thing for me was I'm realistic post footy. I'm at the back end of it now. I'm 33, 34 at the end of the year. I think, yeah, I realise my time is slowly getting to the end as a playing point of view, and I wanted to put all my time and effort to be the best coach I could be, and that was my priority. Keeping fit at the same point. I think I naturally like running and keeping fit. I like doing it. I do it 3 times a week at a minimum, and I was kicking the footy more times than I ever have before. Plenty of reps with the girls, so it was different because over a pre-season, I probably averaged about 95% attendance rate over my career, and all of a sudden I only went to 4 sessions out of about 40. So I was a little bit behind the 8 ball. But I, the thing that was going to hold me back from playing round one was not my fitness. It was if the Geelong girls made finals, so I probably would have been in a predicament then. But yeah, obviously my priority was coaching.
Yep. So obviously, probably a silly question. I think you've answered it already. If we get a start this year, you'll be wearing the maroon and blue.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, keen. I've probably done the longest individual pre-season ever, starting back in October. As I said, I've only been to 4 training sessions with the boys, which is a bit bizarre, but kicked the footy a lot of times, and I've kept my fitness levels up. I have my own little personal time trials and stuff like that, so I know where I'm at realistic from years gone by, and I touch base with them sort of every 3 to 4 weeks just to see where I'm at, and if I'm not at the standard I want to be, I work hard to get to that level. So, I honestly hope for everyone involved in community sport, that we do get going. And I want to play footy this year, absolutely.
Yeah, and I suppose Motowari too, being such the community that it is, and you brand yourself as a great country club and that family setup, and obviously the Finch is involved, and obviously you're into the Ovens family who are legends at Motowari. Motowari would be one club that's probably feeling it more than others.
Yeah, it's just that small community environment in town, and that's something that creates our culture so unique, I suppose. A lot of other teams in the Ballarat footy competition or coastal, so they come from naturally a bigger background. Anglesea and Motowari are obviously small community base, and that's something we pride ourselves on. It's the backbone of our culture, and that's why we're so close through our football and netball and junior programs. Yes, as I said before, like blokes like our locals that want to come up and have a cold beer and watch us train on a Tuesday, Thursday, I think they're the guys that will be certainly missing it the most. And I hope at some point we can get together and have a cold one at some point, and they can watch some form of footy, whether it's touch footy or what it is. I'm not sure. 10 guys having a kick in on the oval would be playing old backyard basketball style would be okay at the moment. But yeah, hopefully at some point we get it going for everyone's sake.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk to us about how long you've got left, Finchy. As you said, 34 at the back end of the year. You're on about 260 games for Motowari. Was 300? We spoke at your 250th last year, whether 300 was realistic. You weren't sure. Has that now put? Obviously, now knowing that at best you'll play probably 12 or 13 games this year, that 300 is probably no longer realistic.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's funny because early days, I've never missed any footy. Like I only had a broken arm, and I missed 6 games over my whole career. So I've been very fortunate. I've seen some players get absolutely hammered with injuries. So I'm very grateful that I've got through and had a lot of luck along the way. Um, yeah, and there was only two other games I missed. I think one was representing footy, and then I think there's a couple of games early on. It was through drought. At one year, we had a 16-game season instead of 18. That was a little bit bizarre as well, but the grounds were so hard, so we weren't ready to play. But yeah, probably to wind it back a little bit, like I probably thought I could get there when I was sort of 25, 26, and now all of a sudden I'm 34, and it still feels like I'm 3 seasons away of getting there. But it's not the reason I play footy. I play, yeah, as I said, early days, camaraderie and mateship, and a lot of people are driven by success. But the biggest thing that I'll look back on my journey is the people that I've met. I'm grateful that we had that success in 2018, but as I said, that it's the relationships you'll have for a lifetime that I'll cherish and I'll miss once I do retire. But I'll certainly stay connected. How many years left? I honestly don't know. It could be a blessing in disguise having a year off to get rid of all the niggles. Like I was feeling the pinch late last year, playing that many games of footy in a row. That's why I rested the last game of the year before finals. But I can't answer that question. I don't think. I was just taking it 1 year at a time.
But as you said, that whether it's a half season or no season, as you said, that it might have tacked a couple of years on that you might not have thought you would have got to.
Yeah, I reckon. It's one of those things when you're, yeah, it could be a blessing in disguise, and it could be a downturn as well, because not changing direction and doing all those things, it could create injuries for players and stuff like that as well. But hopefully that's not the case. Yeah, I'll just see how the body's feeling at the end of this year. Hopefully we get going, get a dozen games in. Hopefully we play finals, and then I'll see what it looks like. If we don't get going, well, I'll reassess at the end of the year.
Yep. You got a couple of youngsters. Do you maybe play on so they can remember seeing Dad?
Yeah, it's definitely, and that's something I cherish at the moment. Like Lenny's turning 4 this year, but he loves going to our football and netball club and just to run around and have a kick on a Saturday. He's running around the front yard at the moment, absolutely going bonkers because he wants to get back to the club. He's like, "When's coronavirus going away? I want to, kick the footy and stuff like that." But I think my wife Emma's more driven for me to keep going, so he can cherish it a bit longer than probably my own personal thing at the moment, because I'm realistic. I'm a driven person. I've been pretty selfish a few times over the years to my wife Emma, training 6-7 times a week to get myself at that point where I'm ready to play at, or the level and expectation I create on myself. So I'm mindful of that as well, getting towards the end of it.
Who's Lenny's favourite player? Is it you or Uncle Chad?
I hope it's me. He probably he might claim me so.
What's your big mate from Baldwin going to do?
Without footy?
Yeah,
Oh, well, it's the same deal. Like, I was probably sitting on the fence, and then he said, "No, mate, I'm going again at Motta," and that made my choice easy to say, "Yeah, I'm playing as well." Of course. Yeah, what it looks like at the end of this season, if we don't get going, I honestly don't know. Same deal. He's 34 in the next couple of months. He's just had a little child, Parker, little boy. So he's got other things on his plate. So, and he's done everything he needs to in footy. He doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. So if he said he's done at the end of the year, he's had an amazing career. So hats off to him.
we don't know what the little bald bloke wearing number 4 at Geelong's going to do, but do you hang on long enough potentially to play with him if he was to come back to Mottawarri in some way?
Oh, I'd have to, yeah. I mean, one of the greatest of all time. It's debatable, but his record speaks for himself. And if Nathan was keen to play this year, and if Nathan's still going around next year, and Gaz decides to play, I mean, I'd definitely be playing. That's an easy sell for me. Even late this year at the footy club, there's a few boys joking around that. If he didn't sign that for that one more year, that he'd definitely come play with Nathan. So a few boys were pretty excited early days, and it'd be good to watch him play again for Geelong this year. And then if he decides to have a kick with Nathan next year, that'd be awesome. We even talked about the God having a kick with all three of them would be nice, even if it was in the twos. Get a big crowd, get a big crowd out to Motta, because he pops into training every now and again, Gaz Senior. So it'd be an amazing thing if they could all get down.
What you do is, if we can't get a season up and running, maybe just even in October, and when they get social distancing out of the way, Mottawarri's twos play somebody, and you just get the 3 Ablets lined up and you sell tickets so you can make some money.
Absolutely. You just get them kicking bananas from the boundary. That'd be probably good enough in itself, let alone a game. But it'd be amazing to get all three of them together.
Let's talk about AFLW, Finchy, and the experience. What did you take away from being a development coach and a development coach of women for some where the game doesn't come as naturally to them as it does to somebody like you?
Yeah, amazing experience. If you had told me, 5 years ago when I started my coaching career that I'd end up at an AFLW program or an AFL club, I would have said, "You're kidding yourself." I suppose, my experience with senior footy and boys coaching is certainly different. Same concept. It's just you're teaching women who have an appetite and an ability that they just want to get better. They ask a lot of questions, but they actually amaze me with how much time and effort and the ability to want to get better. That they're just so invested in the sport, and I was blown away by that fact. An amazing program at the Geelong Footy Club. To have a mentor in Paul Hood and work really closely alongside Tom Stewart was an amazing experience, and obviously just touching into the brain of Scotty Thompson, who's fresh out of an AFL system. What a starting point of getting into coaching.
Didn't get in Scotty's ear about coming to Motta, did you?
Well, he was sitting on the fence. He was enjoying the the post training feeds that they put on for us, the cats anyway. So he was joking around about maybe getting down to South Barwon to have a kick with him, but same deal. He's done it all. He's had an amazing AFL career. If he wants to retire, it's hats off to him.
I suppose in this COVID world that we live in, your role at the Cats is no certainty to be there next year.
No, and that's right. I suppose it's the unknown for a lot of people. Like the current coach, like Paul Hood, he's obviously been stood down short term just until I suppose we get through a bit more time and see what happens. The VFLW program, it probably doesn't look likely it's going to get going this year. Hopefully, same deal. Fingers crossed it gets going. I'll be happy to be involved with that as a development level, and speaking to Hoodie and Nat Wood about that was an opportunity that could happen, but we just don't know how it looks. So I suppose we'll just play it by ear over the coming months.
Yeah. What was something that you took away from the AFLW program that might have helped with your not only football but your coaching going forward? Is there something that you learnt? Gee, I never did that as a player, and gee, I can't wait to actually put that into work when I actually go back to Modder.
Yeah, you probably name a lot of things. I think I suppose the process and the way that Hoodie had the program to run. I suppose match committee, and they were doing certain scenario based about opposition, and it was almost called like a what if meeting. Like, what if this happened throughout the game? How do we deal with that? It's certainly something that we didn't have, I suppose, the time and the resources to do at Modder in local footy, but it's something that sort of jumped out at me. I thought, it's an amazing idea and concept to have in place. So if the opposition kicks 2 goals in a row, like what are you doing next to prevent the next goal? Like, are you shutting down, or are you trying to attack even harder? Just little things like that. And I suppose for me, my time as a coach has been a playing coach. So did Geelong College coaching the Year 10 boys there, but I never really had that opportunity to be in a coach's box and see it unfold. So that was an amazing experience as well, that I learnt plenty about some different scenarios and creating an outcome.
Will you be a senior coach again, Finchy? And not at Modder Warrior? Are you, and you, if we cut you open, you would bleed maroon and blue, but are you open to going elsewhere locally to coach again?
Yeah, I think I'm realistic, mate, and I'm very passionate about footy. I love footy, and I love coaching and seeing development, and seeing progression within individuals, seeing them get better. So I'd certainly say, I wouldn't say never. How it looks, opportunity to be an assistant again, or a development coach at AFLW. There might be a few years before it happens again, but I'd like to think I'm going to be involved in community sport at some point for the next sort of 15 to 20 years. But what level, whether that's a board member or committee or something like that, I'll definitely be involved watching Lenny progress through the grades as well.
Is he showing any ability, young Leonard?
Well, he's a little lefty, mate. I don't know, he hasn't got that from me because I'm not a great kick on my left, but he's just got that appetite to, I suppose, just to tackle and get down and get dirty, which is probably not me either. But
You're just fishing for compliments here.
No. I can tell you, my defence was never one of my strong suits. No, but he's just a happy little kid who loves having kick with dad.
Yeah, fantastic. Hey, Finchy, love talking footy with you. You and I have been talking footy for a heck of a long time, and never did we think we'd have to do it via computer or on a video, but it's a fun way to do it. I've enjoyed doing these with a few of the local coaches and local footy identities. You're one of those, obviously, the only 4-time winner of an Ash medal, and we love talking with you, and we can't wait to see you add to what is a wonderful career, hopefully sometime in 2020.
Thanks, King. Thanks for having me.